These are my first impressions of the 15-inch M2 MacBook Air, and it's not what I expected. So the first and most obvious thing is the massive screen. We've got to talk about it. It's a 15.3-inch liquid retina display that is 2880 by 1864 pixels, 224 pixels per inch, and supports 1 billion colors. But you guys already know that that doesn't really mean a whole lot to me, so I'll say this. It's big, crystal clear, and everything looks great like every MacBook before it. It's got 500 nits of brightness, which is a little bit on the low side, and when you consider the fact that the whole deal behind MacBooks are that they're light, portable, you can kind of go work anywhere with them, the fact that this only has 500 nits of brightness is going to make that a little bit harder outside. So I just don't think that 500 nits is really enough for a screen that's this big. But I mean, that's only one piece of the puzzle, so let's talk about that 15-inch screen, because man, it's crazy. Like I said in my unboxing, depending on the angle that you're looking at it, the bezel around the edge does look a little bit thicker than that on my MacBook Pro, but either way, it is way smaller than any of the old MacBook Airs and definitely looks way better. Having this screen size is so convenient because you have so much more extra space to work and get things done, and that's coming from somebody with a 14-inch MacBook Pro. If you're coming from one of the 13-inch MacBook Airs, then man, this is going to be a whole new world. I've got to keep using it in some different scenarios, but having this size option is going to be so nice for anybody where the 13-inch model just wasn't enough. 13 inches isn't big enough, but they also didn't want to pay MacBook level prices. Next up, which is the next obvious thing, is the form factor. You don't just get a 15-inch screen without getting a massive computer behind that. And man, this thing is big. You've got a build that is 9.3 inches tall, 13.4 inches wide, and just 3.3 pounds and only 0.45 inches tall. I mean, guys, I still can't get over this. This computer feels so insanely thin. And I mean, granted, I am coming from the MacBook Pro, which is beefier, but I mean, considering the size and the weight, this is not something that you'd expect out of a 15-inch laptop. So first of all, the weight. Yes, it is heavier than any of the older MacBook Airs. That's pretty obvious. But the thing that makes it different is how that weight is distributed. See, because everything is spread out across a bigger body, it actually doesn't feel like it's a bigger computer. When it's actually in your hand, it feels super lightweight, and it makes you completely forget the fact that you're holding a 15-inch laptop. And it's even more comfortable when you're working on your lap and all of that weight is spread across a bigger surface area. So all of those things combined, despite its weight, actually makes it feel like it's a lighter weight laptop than it really is. I remember back in high school, I had this old Dell computer that was 15 inches, and that thing was just an absolute brick. It was super, super thick and made it uncomfortable to do the lap part of being a laptop, and had these fans that just got so hot when, opening a Chrome tab. I mean, shit, this computer doesn't have a fan at all, so we'll definitely have to see how the power and heat management plays out. But if you're familiar with Apple end chips, then you'll know that this will probably be fine. Now, the last thing that I want to mention about this computer is the price, which I know is a little bit weird because I usually leave that stuff for the full review. Definitely subscribe so you don't miss out on that. But this computer comes in at over $1,700 Canadian. Now, I don't know about you guys, but the MacBook Air has always been that easy recommendation for me, for anybody that's looking for a computer. But the price for this computer isn't exactly student price. So I guess my next question is then, who is this computer for, right? Because when you actually look at the rest of the lineup, I don't actually think this computer is meant for students. Because see, to me, I think that this computer is for the working professionals, where 13 inches just has never been enough, and they've always wanted that bigger display, but didn't want to deal with the hassle like paying pro prices, having underutilized power, or having to deal with the chunky, more clunky pro computers that are more dense relative to this computer. But with this price being just a little bit more than the M2 13-inch, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. I mean, now that I think about it, it's also probably pretty close to a refurbished MacBook Pro. But regarding the 13-inch Pro, to me, this computer is an absolute no-brainer. You're getting the same powerful chip, a way bigger screen, and a body that is honestly built way better. There's actually almost no reason to get the 13-inch Pro. But that's for another video. Click subscribe and watch this video here.